You're on trip. Are you ready? Okay, I'm gonna mute, and we're gonna go to, the pledge of allegiance. All right.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Start the meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to April 8th, 2025 minutes?
I make a motion to pass the minutes on April 8th, 2005. I will second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All passes, motion carries. Then we have a Bourbon Town Council on May 5th, 2025. Is this for the opening the bids for the community crossings? Is there any additions or corrections to that?
I'll make a motion to pass that. I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Old business was the opening of the community crossings. Community crossings bid was 60,000, I think, and 241, some change. So we just opened it, and and then you were going to look at the bid. Is that correct?
Take it under advisement, yes, sir.
Okay.
There were some accounting errors that were adjusted, and I initialed those and signed off on those, and so Payment Solutions was aware of that. So I'm returning the bids back to Kim, and would you like to hear more about the project?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. So this was part of the Community Crossings Matching Grant Program. This run all throughout the state. Working with Roger and Kim, we were able to apply for, I think it was at least 28 roads that would have maintenance work for them. There was one contractor that bid the work, and that was Payment Solutions Incorporated. And I worked with Kim after to make sure that all stuff was sent to NDOT, because there are some paperwork that still needs to be filed. But under the changes, the total amount of the project was $60,490.56, and the town's contribution for that work, I believe, is 1/4 of that for the grants, per the grant instructions. So we were able to have the town's portion be $15,122.64, and the state was granting us $45,367.92. So basically, we can do with, I mean, it's probably hard to see, but that's the full list of roads. And so without NDOT's funding, we could do maybe 1/4 of that. So as far as what needs to be signed tonight, would be page 2. Basically adjusting the grant amount. We were able to use the full amount of money that we were awarded from NDOT. So that would go under less. And then for the contract, there are no conditional bids for it. So I don't want to do this at the end of the session or now, but we would have you sign and have Kim attest where we have the 2 sticky notes, and then we would have all 3 council members sign and attest that there are no conditions to the bid.
What was the accounting here?
The accounting errors were on pages, it was they didn't add correctly, and so everything worked out in the end.
Okay.
So So the first accounting error was on item 21. They just had the wrong summation. And then the second accounting error was, I believe it was page near the end, the contract amount, which would have been close to 26, 27, 27. Yeah, so they just added the wrong amount there. So they had the wrong unit price for that amount equal. So I talked to Chris, and everything got sorted out, and they were fine with it as shown by their testing here.
Okay. So the total contract bid amount is $60,490.56. Is there any motions to proceed with this?
I'll make a motion to proceed.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All motion carries to proceed in that amount for community crossings.
You're gonna have to, and I think you have to sign. So you have to sign one of these letters too.
Les would sign both of those, yes, and then I can do this at the end, or we can
Might as well do it and get done.
to start, I guess. Les and Kendra, we would test the roads, and then the last.
On both pages, there was the.
Yes, and then the last note is have the 13th day of May, and then it'd be none.
Rest of the month. Wow. So,
And then all three would sign.
yeah, so then you're gonna sign there, and then Les has to sign over here, I think, too.
There's the other things you have to sign on the
You guys sign on here too.
Yes.
Have to do that too.
You can go back and sign this.
I'll let you have the top line of it.
And one copy is for me, and one left with the town, so that will be your copy.
Well, you need copies of these letters, these are the ones that go to Marcia, right?
Yes, I have, there were two, I believe, floating around. I can, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Is there anything else that you need? Thanks for.
I say just Les sign those two also, and
I just want, yeah.
then I will send them off to her tomorrow. That's mine.
Not to interrupt, but you said that you had a question or concern.
No, I just was telling you thanks for what you do, and thank you for presenting of the day to us today.
Welcome, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ryan, appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. Is there any other old business to discuss, Kim?
Not that I'm aware of unless you guys have something.
Moving on to new business, Mr. Hotel.
I'm sorry, I thought Matt was coming back.
Well,
Guess
he
it's you,
was
Mark.
the last one. Gene
So I have
Smith,
the wrong name on there.
Gene Smith is an ordained minister from our church, and he's handling all this, so I'm excited.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are
Good. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass it back real quick for you guys.
Thank you.
He'll read it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so first I want to say thank you for the opportunity to hear us. in August of this year, we're going to celebrate 100 years of being a town. It's now known as Pentecostal Bourbon. We recently changed our name. And in doing that, I have been involved for the last 10 years in what we call block parties. And that simply is that we just, as a community, is that we just have a great time giving back to the community. If you read this letter, I just got done recently doing one in Frankfort, Indiana. A pastor friend of mine there. We actually fed everybody that showed up. It didn't cost anybody anything at all. So we fed roughly 2,000 people. We had bounce houses for the kids. We had, of course, free food. We had entertainment, things of that nature. And we want to bring that here to Bourbon. Of course, with the recent tornado that we had, and what's amazing about what happened there, nobody got hurt. But most importantly, you saw a sign of unification. It didn't matter who you were, people stopped and they helped each other. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, people were helping out. It didn't matter. You just took care of family. Is really what it is. And so what we want to do as a church is that we want to give back to the community. There's not going to be a registration fee by any means at all. So we're just going to, as a church, and what we're going to do, I spoke to the chief, and he's on board with it as well. But we're going to do some exciting things. So we're going to have what we call tug of war with a cop. So we're going to have cops there, okay? And we're going to have kids doing a tug of war against the cops. Here's the kicker. When the kids win, the parents have to do the chores for a day. Plain and simple, okay? But it brings excitement to the kids. And not only that, what happens is it brings a sense of respect to the officers involved. They're involved in the community. Yes, they have a job. They have to correct people. I understand that. But also bring them down to the human portion of, hey, this is our job. We still love you. We still appreciate you. We want to keep you safe. We're also going to do things such as potato sack races. Husbands and wife against husband and wife. How much more fun can that be, right?
And dangerous.
Huh? Here's that. So we'll have things like that. We're going to have things such as hula hoop contests. We're going to have all kinds. Yeah, the cops are involved in that too. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot of exciting things. We're going to have live music. We're going to have popcorn machines. We're going to have cotton candy. And I've been involved in this, like I said. I've done from Fort Wayne to Whiteland to Indianapolis. But most importantly, what we want to do, not only on August the 2nd, we're going to give back to the community through just fun, loving people, and just enjoying time with people, okay? But then also on Sunday, we're going to have a cookout at our church after service where we're going to give a car away. Now, the car has not been bought at all. It's a donation. Again, I know quite a bit of people. I'm very humble to say that. But we're going to be giving a car away to a family that's in need. A lot of prayer goes into it. A lot of prayer. Honestly, we just don't give a car away. The one we did in Fort Wayne, we had a company out of Toledo, Ohio, heard about this project. So we were able to give a 65-year-old grandmother a car that was raising both of her grandkids that were incarcerated. So not only did we give her a car, we collected enough funds. We paid for 6 months of insurance for her. We gave her gift cards, full tank of gas, paid for the car insurance was paid for, and then we ended up giving her $250 to Walmart for things for the grandkids. Plus, we ended up giving her 2 brand-new car seats for the grandchildren. We didn't ask her for anything. Absolutely nothing. It's just our love giving back to community. And I would put it this way: it's no different than you as the board members of the police department giving their lives to protect others, whether it's a fire, whatever the case is. And as a church, we just want to give back to the community that we love and we appreciate. Yeah. So we're asking from the board if they would be interested. Now, it does take a lot of funds. I do have right now. I've got roughly. We've raised almost $3,000 so far, and not asked anybody for anything. But these letters will be going out to other local businesses here in town. I will tell you, there's a doctor in Fort Wayne. He's a pain management doctor, as well as another doctor that I know very well, is going to be investing in this as well. Okay. If you guys, as the board, want to get on board, and I'm hoping and praying you do, we're going to be hitting social media like crazy. Twitter, it's going to be on Facebook, it's going to be on Instagram. There's a lady in our church, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be getting with the newspaper and some news people as well, which ultimately will bring a lot of attention to Bourbon, Indiana, just like you know, what happened several weeks ago as well. But most importantly, what I feel like it's going to show is going to show a sense of love, compassion, and unity for our community where we live. And so I just ask the board for your approval, honestly, just to support it, because when this goes out, it's going to say something like Bourbon's, Pentecostals of Bourbon, in sponsorship with the town board of Bourbon, the police department, and all these people. All that's going to be hitting flyers. Roughly 10,000 flyers are going to be going out. Again, social media is going to be blasted everywhere with the town of Bourbon on it, and we would love more than anything for you guys to be part of it. So the question is, how can the board contribute to this? You know, if it's a $25 gift card, great. It's great. So we're going to be giving a lot of stuff away. We're planning on giving 10 bikes away, 5 for girls, 5 for boys, 5 for teenagers. For the ladies, what we're going to do, we're going to put a big, massive basket together. My wife is standing in the church. We're going to be filling that basket full of goodies, whether it's lotion, self-care stuff for women, especially with single moms or even, you know, non-working or just working moms out of the home. They need to feel appreciated as well. So we want to give things like that back to the community. So we'll be drawings for that. We'll be taking a lot of pictures at the event and ultimately blowing up social media from that. So that's what I'm presenting to you guys, and I hope that you guys are excited about it as well as I am. And again, live music, you name it, we're going to be having it. So, any questions?
Is this gonna be at the church?
I'm sorry, it's going to be at the park. Pastor Cottrell did say that we do have that reservation for the park on August the 2nd. August the 3rd, we will be having it in our church, and that will be the card giveaway after service there. And we will also be having a cookout there too. So once the cookout is, church is done, we'll have a cookout, which gives us all an opportunity. Whether they come to our church or go to a church across town, it gives us an opportunity, most importantly, to connect with each other in our community and the surrounding area. Just to love them, introduce ourselves, and, you know, if we see them on the streets, we can shake their hand, hug their necks, and just bring unification back what we used to.
Well, I think the unification's already here.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing anytime to bring the community together and sharing support to your neighbors, love to your neighbors. I think it's a good thing, so I'm in favor.
I'll go along with that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You want to say anything?
The last time we did something this big, it was called Crazy Park, it's been a few years ago. 1,500 people showed up at the high school yard. We didn't expect that many, but it was huge, and I hope to have that many this time.
Yeah.
And so we wanted you to know, especially, you know, for people coming in town, traffic and so forth shouldn't be a problem since it's at the park. I hope there's no baseball game that day.
That's over.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be over by then.
Good. But we just want to bless the town again, especially after all the tragedy we just had. Everywhere you go, and you say Bourbon, and I was at the hospital the other day and I mentioned Bourbon, and the whole medical staff stopped and said, "Talk to us about Bourbon." You know, everybody's listening about Bourbon. So this is something else to add to it about the unity and so forth. Appreciate Gene here. He's done many of these all over the state, which has been good. I want to mention just personally, I moved here in 1976, right out of Bible seminary. It's hard to believe I'm that old, I know, but so I've been part of the ministry, I guess the longest serving minister in the history of Bourbon for 49 years. Next year will be 50, which is hard to believe. But if there's any way possible that you can come on that August 3rd, 10 o'clock in the morning service to celebrate our 100th anniversary as a church, I appreciate it. You know, just I know you may have your own church commitments, but if you can, we have a guest speaker coming in from St. Louis, Missouri, from our headquarters, personal friend of mine, and service probably lasts from 10 till 11:30, depends on the cookout afterwards, but it'll be a good time. They'll be talking about the history of the church, and but it'll be about the church on the 3rd. But I just personally, I wish you could be there. Tell us more about this Uniting Through the Word service on May 24th. Is that something you're inviting them to?
Yeah, so that is basically an invitation. We're going to have a meeting, kind of a setting like this for business owners and people that actually want to get involved. So sponsors, so whether it's Subway, Bourbon's Pizza. It'll just come to where we'll get more information. But not only are we asking to, whether it's gift cards, we actually want them to get involved. We want them to work with our team, and we want to work with their team, because the truth is, it's not about our church, it's about the community.
Yeah.
And we want to integrate. And I'll tell you, everyone I've done, this is what I tell the church. If you know me, don't talk to me that day. My job is not to spend time with you. My job is to find people that I don't know that I can connect with. And I say that, in fun. But I want to find people that I don't know. I want to make a connection with them, and I want to be able to love them and get to know them. And again, whether you come to our church or you don't, I want to be able to grow that. And if it's a thing that calls me at midnight and says, "Hey, I just need you to pray," I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to do it, because that's what unity and family does across the board. So that particular day, we're just going to have, we're going to go more in detail of what we're planning on doing. And just get everybody involved. After that, we're going to have the flyers start printing. We're going to be doing the massive mail outs, and we're going to be hitting social media hard. I don't know if the town has a Facebook page, but we would try to tag you guys in along with the police department, and we'll just ask to share. I think the biggest one I ever did was like 3,200 people that we fed, and we just loved. And there was people there that were crying and emotional. The last car that we gave away, it was very inspiring. The lady had just, she was a block away from the church and her car broke down. And I prayed about it. She stayed until after the church. I drew the name, and it was her car. It was her name that I drew. And she just busted out crying. No strings attached when it comes to the car. I just want everybody to understand it's going to be a simple car is given to you as is. We're not wanting anything in return. We know, if you want to come to the church, great. We're inside command. It's just we are blessing the community 150 billion%. And so that's what we want to continue to do. We just want to bless the people in our community and our surroundings.
And it'll be a nice car. The VIN number won't be scratched off.
That was the last one.
And so, but this is a great way just to bless the town, bring everybody together, and pray for a nice weather that day.
Yeah. And we would like to try to do it, where it's fun too for everybody. The last one I did was a Jeopardy thing. So we handed them the keys and said, "You have 2 minutes to find this car." But it's amazing how many people talk to each other that you don't even know. No, do this one. The other one we did, I think I told the chief of police, the last one, several years ago, what I did is I did a low-speed police chase where I had 2 cop cars, lights and siren, and they were chasing this car at 2 miles an hour around the block party, and they ended up right in the block party. And the officer got out of his car, arrested the guy. It was all planned. He actually worked for me. And you heard comments like saying, "I knew that boy stole that car. He just looks like a thief." But ultimately what happened is we had the officers so involved. We had the officers say, "Hey, we're sorry we interrupted your party. It's like you were having a great time, but this car doesn't belong to this young man. It belongs to Doris Law." She had no idea. So she walks up, it was a grandmother, and she says, I don't have a car. And he says, "You do now." So it brought a peace knowing that officers have a job to do, but it brought the unification back to the community. So we will be doing something along those lines to present the car. We're not just going to say, "Here you go." The other one we do is, let's make a deal. Here's $50, you pick a door. So we may do something like that. Might be a toilet seat. I don't know. You have to come and find out. But we're going to make it fun where we can just have a great time on that following Sunday.
Sounds neat.
We need more positive stuff in our world. So.
We do.
Amen to that.
Amen.
So, again, if anything the board can do, again, if it's a gift card, whatever, I would feel honored. We're just going to give stuff away. That's all we're doing. And I will say this. That the car that's being given away, it will be going through the church. The person that's giving it away does not want to be mentioned. They don't want their companies mentioned. And then here's their statement: "I don't need the recognition at all. God will take care of me." And that's very powerful if you really think about it. So, if the board can talk about it or whatever, and just let us know, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, you have our support. You know that.
I know.
Do you have anything else?
Well, it's more with Janelle and Joe.
Yeah. Moving on to reports from department heads, Kim Bourbon.
Approval of claims 7367 to 7470, $377,083.51.
I'll make a motion to approve claims 7367 through 7470 for $377,083.51.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I need approval from the CF1 tax abatement for CT Polymers. They are definitely in compliance with their tax abatement that was given to them back in 2022. They are looking at having an additional 24 employees this next year, which is going to increase their salaries by $1,890,000.
Motion on the table?
So this is just approval to continue.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to continue the approval of the CF-1.
CF1, yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
They also have a tax abatement for their real property on that, and that is the same thing. As you know, they have added on. They're planning on maybe adding on again, and hopefully after their next expansion, they will have a total of 80 employees, where when they first applied only had 12. So that is for SB1 real property.
And that's a continuation also. So I'll make a motion to approve SB1.
Unless you just need
I will
to
second that as well.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The only other thing that I have is that we have been blessed this month also and has received an additional $35,255.74 in donations by fundraising and just the generosity of people in our community with help with the tornado. So I need acceptance of those donations.
I make a motion to accept those donations of $35,250.
This time.
Okay.
All right, I didn't finish. Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have.
I'm just gonna throw out there, what's the council's thoughts on throwing some, a little bit donations towards some of this food, this community event?
What are you thinking?
$2,000.
When do you need the funds by?
Just whenever, any donations we ask them to make out to the church, and we already have an account set up for block party fund. So if you do that, I would just make it up to the church and mark it as block party fund.
I don't know, because you might have to just take it out of a donation account in our general fund, since these were stipulated for a tornado event.
Was it all though? Wasn't the other donation not stipulated for that?
One of them was for
Last month?
parks, and the rest of them was for the tornado, but
Is this
with
an
no
additional from
stipulation.
what we got before?
Well, the Nate Spangle,
He had quite a.
he had, his was $27,000 and some dollars. So, I don't know, that might be something that I would have to check with the State Board of Accounts, because I reached out to them when this money came in to see how it should be receipted in and all of that. So it might just need to be a call to them to see.
I would make a suggestion to find out legally where we're at first. We
Yeah.
can approve this next month, correct?
Alex, what's your thoughts on this? Since it's
I'm sorry, Les, you said lower my thoughts.
Of using a donation fund, throwing 2,000 towards the block party for the community.
That's a good question. I'd have to look into it for myself. Comfortable giving you an answer.
I guess one thing to get around the state board accounts is directly buying, like food, and using it for, as a receipt.
Yeah, I just have to give you a little bit of time to
Yeah.
figure that out.
I make the motion to make the right decision first
Yeah.
before I just table it to next month.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else, Kim?
No, that's all I have.
Kim, I know that with the tornado and you've been hit with, fighting with the insurance and taking in money, and I just want to personally tell you, I appreciate what you do, and I know that you put a lot of heart into it. We all don't agree with everything, but I just personally want to tell you thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Les.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
Chief Martin,
Yeah, my monthly report.
anything?
I have a reserve application for Sebastian Penrose out of Culver. I'd like permission to put him on pending our departmental interview. Because I got a 40-hour pre-basic, and we're gonna put it on before the next
Have you
council.
gone through a background on him? And everything?
We've done everything,
Okay.
except for the interview.
We have a slot.
Where is all of our reserves? Are they all filling these spots? Are they getting their hours in?
Yes,
Every one of them.
I haven't got the monthly report yet from Nick, but
Discussion?
You want to hire them before the next meeting?
yes, pending our departmental interview. If we find something before then, but the reason we're gonna, Mr. Hanley, we gotta put him through a 40-hour pre-basic. If we don't have him hired, we can't put him through it. The reserve.
Well, then this other gentleman's from Culver? What's the, is there, I'm assuming there's a cost for all this, for pre-basic?
Yes.
No, there's no, it's minimal.
99 per, I think. I'm certainly okay with it. If we got the spots we need to fill.
Yeah, as long as we're getting our hours in, I guess we don't wanna flood my outlook on it is we don't wanna flood the reserves with just those people. If we're not actually following through, so.
I guess I'll make a motion that we go forward with that.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, I got
He
scolded.
wasn't excited. He wasn't that excited. That's,
I got scolded. I'm afraid now.
Good, you should be.
Roger Terry?
Yeah, the activity reports. The second thing on after the activity report is the concrete at the end of Rose Lane we've been talking about. I have an estimate. You should have the estimate in front of you for that little area.
All right.
go ahead.
Are they gonna do some kind of, open venting?
Yeah, that was the school
The
was going.
school is going to, replace all the fencing there, and it will be a gate
Yeah.
this time. But yeah, the school is going to replace all of the fencing. They were just asking us, and I know, I'm sure you guys all seen what a
Yeah.
muddy sinkhole it was there that, what?
I've got 3 questions on this. For one, is there a certain amount that we need to have more than one quote?
No, not on this, no.
Secondly, say. Oh, secondly, is this something that donations can be used for? Since it's for emergency for a tornado.
I would say that this would be something that it could be because that was all damaged during that event, and that was really our only way for our emergency services to get to those people in that area due to the power lines and everything down on Center Street. So I would say yes, that could be utilized to go in there and concrete that, and that way.
I would think for a safety issue,
Yeah,
there should be another
more-
outlet out there.
Yes, and I'm not disagreeing, I just wanna see where the funds are coming and utilize the funds for what they're.
Right, exactly.
And then, yeah, and then talking with the school, and I'm sure that with the police department too, that is something that they do not want to leave open, because it will just end up being a racetrack down Rose Lane to get to the school.
And the third question is this something we wanna look at? Putting no parking from Astor north on Rose Lane to keep that gate open so that fire trucks can get down there if need be.
I think that has been an issue at the end of Rose Lane for quite a while.
Some people park and actually,
If we don't put no parking signs up.
some people use that and then they walk to school. They park their vehicle there and, or they park.
I would say, was it Astor?
Yeah, it's Astor, yes.
Astor north on Rose Lane, I would suggest that we put no parking signs
Well,
on both sides of that road.
we also need to talk to the school about having no parking in front of it too, also.
On their side.
On their side, correct. Yeah, just for that purpose too.
Well, we'll have to have Alex do an ordinance on it, right?
Yeah, the no
To
parking.
add no parking to Rose Lane in that spot, yes, you would have to have that.
So I guess let's break it down. Is there a motion on the table to proceed with paying for this?
I would make a motion to pay for this out of the tornado funds because it is for the safety and the purpose of the safety of the individuals.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So moving forward, is there a motion on the table then to proceed with creating an ordinance for the no parking?
I'll make a motion to create an ordinance for the no parking from Astor Court to the school property.
I'll second that.
Alex, are you clear on that?
Yeah, I'm making the note to put something together before the next meeting for that, if that's sufficient.
Okay.
Don't you agree, Bill? Roger?
Yes, very much, yes.
Chad?
Okay.
The next one is the bell tower. In lieu of the contractor coming in and looking at it last week, we found some new cracks in the post, in the front post that face Center Street. And we now have a quote to fix that, which Kim has. And it's astronomical.
The first group?
Yeah.
It's an addition to the first quote, and what she's gonna give you guys now is astronomical. As far, it's
So,
very expensive.
our first quote that we got, from, the
Could we
issue.
articulate that maybe the wind caused those new cracks?
Well,
No.
I was spoken to our insurance company about that, and I guess it would be kind of a hard sell since
Since
we
we just
didn't
had it inspected?
we inspected it back in the fall last year,
Right.
and they hadn't been back up there until here just about a week or so ago. But we didn't lose any shingles or anything like that off of our roof, so using it as tornado damage, I think would be a really hard sell. So, the original quote was $48,151. This additional to change those posts is an additional, mind you, $82,857.
Oh,
yes.
So, here's my question. I know this isn't gonna be popular idea. What's it gonna cost to take it down until we get grant money to put that back up?
That I haven't asked yet. We're just gonna work through this and we can work
But
through
I
it.
mean, honestly,
More than that.
to take it down,
To take it off. No,
I mean, really,
Just drain
honestly,
it off.
yeah,
I think it just needs to come down also.
until,
I know it's a historical building and I know there will be all kinds of comments. But right now
That's
it's
$120,000 or $130,000.
almost $132,000.
yeah, it's 100.
But you're talking, a crane to bring it down, then you have to patch the holes. And then,
It's gonna be less than the first quote, I'll guarantee you
I
that.
think, yeah, I
The
don't
only
think
thing
it
we
will
have to
be
do is figure out
either,
where we're gonna store it.
so when you say bring it down, just bring it down, period, and never replace it?
Well, or we could get grants to put it back, and, you know, we were,
Just get rid of it.
I think it's a safety
I think
hazard.
it's a
it's a
safety
safety
issue.
hazard at this point, correct.
Yeah,
And what's the turnaround time getting it repaired? I mean, we
Well,
approved this before the tornado, and
Okay, they're gonna repair our buildings too, so, you know, we're gonna be waiting on them before that gets done.
I mean, that thing could fall.
It could fall tomorrow or tonight if the wrong wind comes in.
I say we gotta look at moving forward with something and get something.
So I'll get some quotes.
I think we get. I mean, my opinion is we get a quote to take it down. We contact the historical society, see where we're at there, and then revisit it. It's a safety. Yeah, I don't want somebody hurt.
it just can't stay up there anymore. It just can't.
Are you gonna relocate the siren, if we still use that?
Yeah, we use it.
Yeah,
I
they
think
use-
that would kind of have to be a township issue. That's
But isn't the
townships.
siren mounted to the top? It's not mounted to the actual
Oh,
tower.
no, I've never found her.
Roger.
I think it's mounted to the tower.
Oh, is it?
It is. Yeah, it's sitting on a ledge up there on the tower,
I
so.
set it off the night of the tornado.
Yeah.
After counties went off, I set ours off.
I think we need to look at that first. We need to have those answers first.
What answer are you wanting first?
What it's gonna cost to take it down and set it to the side for right now, and then remounting the county, or remounting the siren.
Where are you gonna put the siren? I think so, in your house.
Well, I
you
think
get that
they,
new bar.
I would think they would
I
have
saw
to
that
put
door.
some kind of a tower or something like that up to put it on or something. And, yeah, I think that's something, that maybe the township's gonna have to look at on that.
I mean, the power runs right into the station.
I know, that's gonna, can't go too far. So we'll get with Millwood tomorrow,
Okay,
ask them.
yes. I'll call them.
Them poor people probably wish they would not talk to us ever again because I'm constantly asking them for questions and all of that. Oh, and I guess I should have in my spot, did say that I finally did get the approval to sign the quotes to fix the, office area building, the west building, everything at the park, the radios that were damaged by, them getting so wet the night of the tornado,
Which radios?
their police radios. So those, quotes have all been sent, signed and sent back to everyone, so those are all moving forward. Those have all been approved by our adjuster and all of that. So that's where we are on that at the moment, so we picked out the metal colors and all that stuff today, so we should be good.
So, do we need to vote on that extra quote, or that extra?
No, I will have to vote to move forward, but just to get the vote.
I make a motion to table all the information on the bell tower until we get more information.
I'll second it. Are you guys willing to do a special meeting if we get that
Yeah.
We
information?
got to do that.
I mean, it's gotta come, we gotta do
The
something.
sooner the better, yeah.
So, get another quote then?
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
And time frame.
That time. Okay.
Power broom attachment?
Yeah, Steve and I have been talking about an attachment for the skid steer. It's a hydraulic power broom. It's a bristle broom that fits to the front of the skid steer. My street sweeper won't pick up a lot of big chunk debris, but we can move this out of the way and make it easier in a pile to pick up off the streets and our construction sites when we do cutouts. We can sweep that better if it's muddy or stuff like that. My sweeper will pick up the fines, but not the big chunks. It'll actually clog the tubes. So
And all this does is push it forward.
Push it forward, and we can load it with a loader bucket or shovel it into a truck.
It's in your budget?
Yes, we can take it from the street department and storm sewer.
How much is it?
The one, I think I gave you both quotes. The one is 65, and the other one is 79. I would prefer the cheaper of the two. The 79 has an extra attachment that was just getting away. It's a power cord that runs it. It's an attachment extra. We don't need that. And we've had some situations where people had tracked up mud on the road too, and I couldn't pick it up with my sweeper, so.
And it is in the budget.
Yes, it can be taken out of my budget in my new tools and the storm sewer, half and half.
There are line items for that.
Okay, so. Just like anything else, we're gonna use it. And it's gonna be safer and and we're actually gonna use it. I'll make a motion to approve it of the 65 estimate 98957.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next on the list is the Quonset. As Kim said earlier, it was 55,000.
55,000. To reskin it. That is what the adjuster wanted done. They had to do a lot of searching because that metal is not made anymore. And so, of course, it would have a little bit of a different pattern to it. So, I think the value of the building was like 62,000 is what it was insured for. And so I did ask a lot of questions that if we would decide to tear the building down and maybe add on to the West Pole Barn building, is that allowed to do that? And they did tell me that yes, that would be allowed. Of course, we're only going to get what the quote was to replace it. So of course there would be some money that possibly would come out on the town side of it. But I know that there's been an issue, like I said, with the water that seeps into that building, and that's where our salt is stored. And also, that salt is not really divided from everything else in there, so you can't really store any other equipment in there without it becoming all kinds of rust. So I know that we've talked to Millwood, kind of told them what the boys were thinking, but we haven't gotten a response back on what the difference on that price would be. So until that, I think that we're just gonna have to wait out and see at that point. I don't know if you guys have been in that Quonset building.
Well, sometime or another, the floor is going to have to be redone in front of from the overhead door back to the salt bins. That's all just cracked and bad. That's going to be a cost plus.
$9,400.
The building, you're putting the skin on an old building, so it's just going to still be an old building with a new roof on it.
Can we get a quote?
Well, we're supposed to be getting one.
We're supposed to be getting one.
Okay.
I'm just trying
to know what is the best thing to do.
Well, here's my other question. I know we're a municipality, but we probably still have to go through the same BZA requirements if we move the building.
As long as we leave the same footprint, will we have to?
If you're moving the building. Because you'll be moving it further closer to the side of the other house.
It's already on the line.
Well, I'm just saying, something to think about.
Yeah, we've kind of discussed that, but Steve and I have discussed that between ourselves, so. what it'll basically do is give us a better storage for our salt and some more storage, cold storage or between the two buildings. We're losing actually, what we're losing, we'll gain in storage too, so.
I think we just get the quotes first.
Okay.
And then we'll deal with the zoning for all that stuff when we decide what it is we want to actually do.
Right now, they just up in the air with even like
Yeah.
what it costs.
Okay. I'd like to thank Kim for her help on the community crossing and the council for what they did for the tornado stuff, and Bill for helping out through the whole thing. Appreciate you guys. And Chad, you did a good job too. That's all I have.
15 calls since the last meeting. We had our picture fundraiser, it went really well. We raised enough to get new thermal imaging cameras. Awesome. So we'll be making that purchase here soon. All I really have.
Thanks, Chad. Susie?
The Plan Commission and the BZA did not meet well. Plan Commission met yesterday. They got up a quorum, so we didn't actually have a meeting. BZA had no cases, so they did not meet. And then I still have yours, so I'm still on the signatures on it because I'm the 10th. I have 3 resolutions for you. The first one, which is my fault, I'm missing a signature. It's a rezoning. The second one is the small correction for the suburban district, and then the number 12, which is the third one, is adding the container ordinance to the book. The Plan Commission has voted on it, and they have all, well, except for the one, signed everything. So then Alex will be making up the ordinance, and next month we can have it put in, advertised, and all the good stuff.
So, breaking this down, what can you explain resolution 11?
A resolution 11 is in the suburban area, the zone suburban, we had words that we felt weren't quite right. So we just took out, we switched from permitted uses and moved it over to special uses. So that they're trying to keep the agricultural area to be agricultural. So farm was added, and crop farm was added before farm, so that it's specific to crops. So they added that word, and then where it says in the zoning book, all agricultural uses was moved over to special permit. It was a very small change. We worked with Alex to make sure that everything was good to go, and that's what the resolution 11 is. 12, we talked a lot about containers, being shipping containers and temporary containers. There's also a special spot in there for like what we're going through now, the people that were affected by the tornado. So they can, for 6 months, have a shipping container as long as it doesn't obstruct like traffic. They have to be kept locked when not in use so that children can't be in them. They cannot be living spaces. Those are some of the things that were put in there. And they're given 6 months, and then there's always going to be exceptions if they're still having insurance issues. I mean, there's always exceptions, but it's just kind of trying to keep things to a minimum as far as the big shipping containers or the pods or those type of things. That's what the temporary containers are.
So you can have them in town, or just
only for construction. The only place that they can keep them is light industrial and high industrial, and then they can only have one for 5 acres.
So, how about that they're already in existence?
There's only one in existence. I mean, except for the tornado damaged people. I know that they're out there for that. Is that what you're referring to?
We have 2.
We have 2.
The town has 2.
Town has 2.
The fire department.
The fire department.
Is that on the county
Where-
property or?
No, it's on town.
It's
In
town.
No, it's in town. Well, we'll just stay.
Well, it doesn't say-
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it say it's their grandfathered, the existing ones are grandfathered, or? We did not talk about the grandfathered ones. Guess that needs to be brought up in to your plan commission then again, because,
I
yeah.
think that's probably have to go back in that discussion because,
Where are these?
at the town
At the
hall.
town hall. And the town has two, you said? Yep.
Chad's man cave.
Storage.
Fireworks, fireworks stuff, what?
Oh,
So-
everything that we can't fit in our station, we one of the containers, and then the other one we got for training.
So the fire department has two.
Yes.
So both of them at the dump are the fire departments? No.
But town property.
All right, Alex.
Your thoughts on that one, Alex?
Well, I guess, no, I understand what you're saying, Les. I mean, if the council is saying no to those resolutions, then you just make a formal motion to send it back to the plan commission.
Yeah.
So you want something specific to the town has them, or any grandfather has them?
Well, I think somehow you have to grandfather the ones we have, because you can't pass a resolution, well, we have containers, but nobody else is allowed to have them. I mean,
Okay.
that's hypocritical.
Okay.
I make a motion that we send the plan commission number 11 back to them to,
It's 12. I
I'm
think.
sorry, 12, I'm sorry, 12 to have them reconsider rewording on the storage containers.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I know. Thank you.
Is there a resolution for the other ones then, or?
The resolutions is Suburban.
Okay,
We need to approve. We'll need to approve it.
that's what I'm talking about. Is there a,
I'll make a motion to pass resolution CC 11 on the minor changes.
I'll second that.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Oh, and last on, I think I mentioned this already, but for resolution 11, since it is amending an ordinance, there'll have to be a public hearing with
Yeah.
council as well.
Might as well wait till we get the other ones done and do them together, right?
That's up to you.
Yeah, we could probably do the public hearing, maybe the same meeting as the special meeting we have, maybe try to do it, incorporate both of them,
As long as it's advertised in plenty of time.
so.
So you're rescinding the motion you made on resolution 11 or whatever? No, 11 got sent back. 12 got sent back, because it's a storage container.
Okay, 12 got sent back, 11 was accepted.
But he just say he had to do a public hearing on that one?
Right, but wouldn't that be just to make it an ordinance, because this is just the resolution part?
Yeah, but he'll have to draft up the ordinance to.
Right, but this one's okay.
We're passing it on to Alex to move forward on the ordinance.
That's
Makes
what I
sense,
thought.
Alex?
Yeah, so I'm gonna put together the ordinance. I mean, you can go ahead and,
Yeah.
you advertise it and get the public hearing
Yeah.
set.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need to do that before you can, fully pass it at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
Whenever that is,
Yeah.
normal meeting or special meeting.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks, Alex. Do you have anything, Alex? It's up to you.
No, that was basically it, on that resolution 11.
On the other thing we talked about, the change that you talked to Mr. Wagner about, is that something we need
No.
come forward? Not today, but down the road soon.
That's kind of been covered by actually what we've been talking about.
Okay. Okay.
I just have a question, Alex. Are you any further with Parkview Place Apartments?
No, interestingly enough, I got a notice back from the San Joe County Sheriff today that they were not able to locate her at that address that we have, even though it is the one that is located on basically all their records. So I'm not really understanding why that is. So no, I am still trying to hunt her down as we speak.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Anything else, Alex?
No, that's it.
Thank you. Moving forward, patrons' comments. Yeah.
Do you want anything? Okay, I'm here for.
Would you walk up and state your name so the microphone?
My name is Candace Ames. I'm here for two different things. The first is the Bourbon Summerfest pageant, and the second is for my show choir through the high school, which is the Trike Rhythmic Revolution. So I have letters. So first we'll talk about the Summerfest pageant. Obviously it's May, and that doesn't happen until August, but I am helping Elizabeth Hewlings and Mindy Scott with that this year. So we're just kind of getting things set up, and we're just kind of requesting the use of the park pavilion like we've done in the past. I think that was donated, and I believe Elizabeth was given a key in order to get in there. We're going to do practices starting July 8th from 5 to 7:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the school has graciously given us the ability to the last two practices of July, and then that full week prior to the pageant to be in at the auditorium to practice with them. And the auditorium director, Mrs. Atkinson, will be helping with that. So I guess that's kind of what we're asking for. Would the town council be okay with donating the pavilion for our regular practices leading up to the pageant?
I'd be fine with this. I as well. I'll make a motion that we'll permit that to happen for the use of the pavilion for the pageant and no charge.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Try to keep this to about 5 minutes here. Okay. So now I'm going to change roles. So I also work up at the high school. I'm a Spanish teacher usually, but I'm also in charge of the show choir, which is the Trike Rhythmic Revolution. We've done this a couple of years, I think, 2 years now, I believe. We worked with Dad, or Mr. Terry, whatever we're supposed to call him, to do a car wash. And we've been able to, we've paid for a choreographer for a couple of our songs through that. We've been able to pay for a set of our dresses through that because our expenses are many. Just looking at this year's outfits, we have 2 separate dresses. The one set's going to be $450 just to rent them. The other set is going to be about $650 to buy them to keep. So that's kind of why I like to do this. I'm proposing to do that on August 2nd. I know with this tornado damage to Dad's buildings, it might be a little precarious, and I might have to pick somebody else, like have a backup for that. But we've done it there in the front of your. I don't know my directions. It's there on Center Street.
In front of the West Building.
Yeah, thank you. So, and again, it's the same day as the proposed block party from Pastor over here. So it's from 12 to 3. I don't know if that would bring us more business that day with people coming through town, but we can always change it. I just picked August 2nd because I also have to share kids with the marching band. And we hit the beginning week of school during Summerfest, and then that next weekend they have their first competition. So that's kind of why I always pick before school starts, if that makes sense.
How would that interfere with your plans with the block party situation?
The block party just come whenever. I mean, it's going to be, I believe it's 11 to 3 that day.
I guess that's what I was asking, what the plan was as far as that.
On average, in the last 10 years I've done this, on average you'll get families that stay a couple hours, and you get families that stay all day, or they'll just go and they'll come back, go and come back. So I personally wouldn't see a problem with it, honestly. And where's this located at? You're gonna do
It's
this?
at the street garage, on East Center Street.
Right on the other side of the diamonds, like literally walking distance to the park.
Yeah.
I think that if they do it, I think it'll just, you know, they'll be able to see what we're doing, and they just may want to come over and.
Is there gonna be a problem with the damage to,
Well, that's why she may need an alternate spot, she said, so,
could we do the park?
yeah, not within the park, not within the park. She's got some other places she can ask too.
But
This is,
it's
this
easy
is,
to.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve that location if the construction doesn't impede.
so that'll work out.
I
that
would
way.
hope by then.
I would hope we have something done, at least one of the buildings done.
I'll second your motion. Your
All
Honor.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for what you do.
I'm just here to update.
No, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and thanks for serving.
Is there any other council comments, patron comments for the council? Moving into council member comments.
I just want to get you guys up to date. We got another quote today. Actually, got two quotes today. For the generator from Matchett. After looking over those, I've got some real big questions. Power consumption. I guess I'm gonna ask Kim, can you see me the electric bill so I can calculate what our usage is there last year? Usually I just the monthly bill gives you a yearly usage. Because we've gotten quoted 32 kW, 48 kW, and 80 kW. So I want to know.
Differences in sizes though.
The
Of the
differences
two,
in-
I've only seen two of them.
Yeah, well, I had a conversation with the other one, and I agree with his comment that I don't think we need that. I want to see what our usage is. That's if we were using the full 400 amps of that building, and I don't think we are. I think we'd be hard pressed to use 400 amps of that building. So I can average out what the average usage is, or even the peak usage over the last year, and get us pretty close just by the NIPSCO bill on what the KW usage has been for the electric. Because if we do this 80K, we're probably gonna have to upgrade the NIPSCO bill or the NIPSCO meter also. So.
Okay.
I think it'll still be in question and debate even after the fact, but.
I'll just put it in the table until next, so you can look at the bill and we can make an informed decision. Ice cream maker, or the ice cream, or,
Ice machine?
yeah, ice machine.
We have it.
Yeah,
We have it, it's not installed yet. They're planning on getting that installed, for Memorial Day weekend. That's when it starts to get crazy there for about 6 weeks, yeah.
Congratulations.
But we have it, yeah, we have it, it's in the building. It's just not hooked up yet.
I think we still, we talked about this in December. I think we still need to discuss the usage of that building. I think we need to review it. I'm giving you guys a heads up because I want to press it next month. We need to review the people that are using it, what's being used for it, storage. We need to review what our actual charges are and see how that's worked out for us, because we discussed this in December, and how that's worked out for us the last several months. Obviously, May, June, and July is probably going to be a little heavy, and we can't calculate those numbers, but I think since budget's coming up in July, we need to have that conversation sooner than later, so. Something to think about. And that, I got it.
I don't have anything.
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, I do have one thing. In regards to the comments about the unity and all that, there are just countless people that have commented to me how Bourbon pulled together during this tornado. They were amazed that just a small town could handle a situation like that as well as we did.
Sullivan did.
Yeah, exactly.
And how well other communities came in and also assisted with that, and companies and people.
It's just been incredible. A bad experience to learn that there's a lot of good people.
And FEMA is in here on Friday. I have no idea what to expect from them. All I know is that they're spending the day here with me on Friday. So,
Maybe they're gonna give you a million.
well, they didn't ask for a lot, so I spoke with Chad about it today. I don't have a clue.
I'll try to stop in.
Yeah, they're 9 and 2 is their big meetings here. I don't know what they're going to tell us, but we'll see.
Anything else before the adjourn? Make a motion, please.
I will second.
Nice speaking for me. Thanks, Alex. Now you're speaking.